una buena señal o ustedes esperaban ya que hoy se diera la libertad bajo fianza?
For us, it is very satisfying that the judge has decided to take some time to study the case.
Que cómo vio al señor Martinelli, lo vimos agotado, cansado, no sé si usted pudo hablar con él minutos antes.
It is normal. In a situation like this, it is totally normal.
¿Qué cosas fuertes vio usted en los fiscales? ¿Qué argumentos cree que fueron fuertes para ellos?
Look, on the basis of the question of the prosecution, we can indicate that we are in front of a very meticulous judge. The question both parties. It is not only about making affirmations, seeing facts, or mentioning facts. It is about demonstrating those facts to him, who is the one that is in charge of finding a solution.
Bien, ¿qué espera ahora entonces la defensa de Martinelli?
We expect a favorable decision. We have seen a very proactive judge in his work, and that is something that fills us with complete satisfaction. Today, we are pleased with what we have seen in this audience. We only have to wait, as the judge says, this week or the next week at least. What happened is that we saw an active judge who asked questions, who analyzed every detail. That is something very motivating for us because we are in the presence of a judge who is worried about this work, and especially because of the argument that both parties have given him. We are confident that by the sound of the construction of the argument, we will have a positive response. Well, that's what the prosecution say. We have provided documents in which we show that we are facing a political persecution. The fact that Martinelli, when he was president of Panama, fired the vice president of the Republic, who was also chancellor, because he found out that he was receiving bribes from other consular and diplomatic corps of other countries. This tells the judge that political revenge it is in hand. Martinelli kicked out Juan Carlos Varela when he was his vice president and chancellor because he charged the consul and ambassador with $25,000. That is one piece of evidence we present. The other piece of evidence, which was argued, is that Interpol suspend the international red notice and search of Ricardo Martinelli. And they suspended because the lawyers argued to Interpol that it's a political persecution.
Dijo que cualquier extradición tenía un carácter político. ¿Cómo responden ustedes a eso que insisten en que este es un tema político?
The political issue is one of the arguments presented. There are others. The Constitution of Panama reflects that in the Article 191 that the president only can be charged and extradited for 3 offenses. Within these crimes, there is no extradition process except for one of the peculation. If you look at the prosecution present, you may notice that there is not a single evidence to prove the crime of peculation. How will the prosecution prove the crime if the opportunity to do it is already passed? The decision of the judge was to suspend the process for today to read, concentrate, and decide if he will listen to the request of the defense to a series of experts who are going to explain the nature of the process in Panama. It is the decision that is going to be taken at the moment. If his decision is to accept the request, he will inform so and convene all parties. But if he decides not to do so, the judge will proceed with the extradition process. In my experience, I think the process will take a week, maybe 2. But in the meantime, Martinelli will remain in detention. In the round of the question that the judge made, it is supposed that they were not only interested in the suspect, but also very specific questions and indicate that they could incline by some measure that favors the freedom of Ricardo Martinelli, and that was very clear. The issue of the bail money was raised by the prosecution personally, and it seems to me that this argument has not substance. To say that he has been denied bail because Martinelli is a wealthy person and he has a number of business and companies. However, the judge tells the prosecution that the proposal is to deny bail request the judge because he has money. Mr. Abbas was told that this was not an argument to deny bail. Whether a person was money or not is not a condition to get a bail or not. All the elements point to the current President of the Republic, Juan Carlos Varela, influenced the Supreme Court of Justice to prosecute and convict Ricardo Martinelli without evidence. There is no evidence in the file linking Martinelli with some sort of espionage. I think it's a complicated case because the judge needs to study the case for several days to resolve the bail problem. He knows he is a victim of a political persecution. He knows that all this is politically motivated. He knows that it's a revenge of President Juan Carlos Varela for having thrown out of government as foreign minister. He knows that it's a revenge of President Juan Carlos Varela for having been thrown out of government as foreign minister. He knows that Juan Carlos Varela envies him. He knows that in Panama there is no justice. He knows all that. Martinelli understands there is a political problem and he will face everything.
¿Usted puede decir que puede ser una persecución del actual presidente?
I don't see how he will get bail. What Martinelli has is a sum of crime and accusation in Panama, not only for this, which he has been requested for extradition. There are 8 or 9 cases more. I do not remember now. This is not a political issue. It is more than that. This is for criminal reasons. Ricardo Martinelli is not in the United States because he wanted to be there. Martinelli is in the US because his life in Panama is in danger and because we know that the economical power that brought Juan Carlos Varela to the presidency, together with the electoral magistrate, what they want is to eliminate the leader of our movement because they think that in the way they will change the movement that changed the life of Panamanians in a positive way.